Hello again, YouTube. It's 1:57 in the morning. Early morning, Thursday, October 21st, or late Wednesday night, depending on your perspective. Kind of feels like early Thursday morning and late Wednesday night for me right now. Just rolled out of the break room, and that was kind of a bittersweet experience. I just got a single beer, so I don't have a buzz going on, which kind of sucks. I don't know, just didn't feel like I could afford anything more than a single beer. Surprisingly, there's still 3 people there that worked there when I last worked there. So they all seem kind of glad to see me, especially Jasmine. Her face totally lit up when she realized I was sitting at the bar. So that's nice. She looked absolutely adorable tonight, as per usual. Aside from the one bartender that used to work there when I did, he was actually hired when I was working there. I think I was the only white guy there, which, it is what it is, and I kind of expected that. But I don't know. I used to be really good at meeting black women there, and kind of hooking up and hanging out after hours, what have you. But I don't know. I feel like I've kind of lost that mojo, at least there. But without me having the opportunity to sing or be the one spinning the music, I don't really have a lot of game, I guess. And it's kind of almost like I need that as an icebreaker. And I didn't really talk to anybody, to be honest. Just kind of sat there. I spent most of my time. I don't know the Wi-Fi password anymore, so I spent most of my time connected to my Obama phone hotspot, and updated some of my eBay stuff. I really should put more effort into that. That's probably the best cash flow I got right now. I don't smoke. It's crazy how just complete strangers ask people for a cigarette. I don't know when that became socially acceptable, but it seems pretty weird. But I guess that's the power of being addicted to a drug. Just ask anybody for it. Which kind of reminds me of something that my mechanics, hired mechanic said to me today. He was talking about hooking up with women and stuff, and my general frustration with my current living arrangement. And he's like, well, she doesn't want to have any kind of, she doesn't want to give it up to you. You may as well just bring a hooker home. Let her hear that chick moaning. Maybe that'll give her a reality check. And I was like, yeah, as if I can afford that right now. And his reply to that kind of threw me for a loop. He's like, well, because most of those chicks, they're just addicted to them blues. And dudes find a cheap hook up for them blue pills, and they'll do whatever for them pills. And he's probably right. Was it not that long ago, maybe about 2 weeks ago, I was at a bus stop, and some chick had I found honestly quite attractive, had asked me if I had any, and I can't help but feeling if I did, I could have probably got her to follow me anywhere, and do pretty much whatever. She seemed down for whatever, as long as I had the blues. It's kind of funny when she first said it. If I asked if I was into the blues, my first thought was the genre of music. So I guess it shows how out of touch I am. Oh, and I'm not even sure what the hell that drug is, the one they're calling blues on the streets. I hear him talk about it on news radio, but I forget what the drug is. But fentanyl, that's it. I think the blues are fentanyl, cut with God knows what. I hear a lot of people die from it, but apparently a lot of people having a good time with it, or they wouldn't be asking for it. Oh, so I'm debating as to whether I want to get some Subway or get some food at QT. Subway's expensive. I gotta get some food at QT. Subway's actually open though, and they let people in the lobby because they don't have a drive-through. What I really wanted to get was some Jack in the Box. There's a Jack in the Box right there by the break room, but like most fast food places at night, no car, no food. You're not driving a motor vehicle, you are an extreme second-class citizen in this city. To the point where you have very, very limited options for places to eat. So, it's so sick of that. This is weird. Food City's closed, but they got the big fan in front of the door just running full steam. Yeah, waste that power. Y'all owned by a big corporation now. They don't care. And for those who don't know, Food City, previously owned by Bash's', which was a family-owned grocer here in the Phoenix metro area, founded by Eddie Basha a long time ago. And big corporation bought him out a few weeks ago. So I don't think there really is a local grocer here in Phoenix anymore. Not that's actually owned by anyone in Phoenix. Just kind of sad. Some people think that the problem with the world is capitalism, but it's really not. It's corporatism. But true free market capitalism, how the hell do you put a limit on it, But at this point, we're so far into it, there's very little small business left. Very little small business left. Everything's just owned by big corporations. Oh, probably go inside and get some food at that Chevron, but I'm not fond of that Chevron at all. It's exceptionally overpriced on everything, and somehow manages to do business. I think it's just this location. It's a solidly good location. I think a lot of people from out of town just, they see this big Chevron in the corner and it's a familiar brand name, so they just go in there because it's there. Del Taco is closed. And one of the reasons that I moved to this neighborhood was because there was a 24-hour Del Taco that I really liked. But as I've mentioned on several vlogs, I'm not really liking them anymore. The staff is rude, and they don't even keep their own posted hours, and it's difficult to try to get a receipt from the staff. Even though the receipt is good for, if you take a survey, it's good for a discount on your next meal. But it's really difficult to get the staff to give you a receipt. The worst thing is of course now they're no longer 24 hours, and granted, the 24-hour thing used to only be drive-through, but they used to keep the lobby open to a pretty reasonable time at night. And last, I don't even know how many times I've gone there, the lobby hasn't even been open. And last time I went there, they just flat out refused to serve me because I didn't have a a vehicle. It just doesn't seem right to me. I mean, what a novel concept. Oh, we had to close it. We're shorthanded. That's what some people used to tell me. And, here's a novel concept. Well, close your drive-thru. Close your drive-thru and keep your lobby open. And, I told that to my mechanic. He's like, well, they make a lot more money out the drive-thru. I'm like, yeah, sure they do. Fuck the little guy. Fuck the handicap. Just cater to where the money is. Fuck everybody else. I guess that's okay. That's America. That's how America is now. I don't know. I'm really fucking hating my life these days. Last night I was out doing karaoke at Dunes. And I already mentioned I couldn't get on their Wi-Fi. They don't give their Wi-Fi password out anymore, so that was kind of frustrating for me. They had a real lack of places to plug in a phone charger as well. Been having a hell of a time keeping my stuff powered up since I can't power it up in my car, which is how I'm used to powering them up. Constantly, on the bus for hours on end, or walking for hours on end with no way to power my stuff. So I ended up sitting at the one table, the only table I found in the entire bar that had a power outlet near it, trying to charge my stuff, and I ended up sitting alone. A friend that I went with and her friends, they just stayed at the other table. And she's like, well, why did you stay over there? I said, because that was the only table that... She says, why did you stay over there and not hang with us? And I'm like, well, that was the only table that had a power outlet. And why didn't you guys come and join me? I don't know, I guess I'm not worth coming to join. That's what I get out of that. Although I did get to go home and eat her lasagna, so hey, there's that. Fence looking really classy. Yeah, I'm sure somebody just plowed into that. Which doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence as I walk down the sidewalk. Some guy in a vehicle just yelling at pedestrians. I get that a lot. It kind of blows my mind how many people think it's just cool to, as I drive by, yell at the guy walking down the street or yell at the guy sitting at the bus stop. I don't have a lot of respect for society anymore. I feel a lot like the Joker in the movie from a few years ago, Joker, or Defense, Falling Down. I don't know that I'm ready to do anything like either of those people did yet, but not gonna lie, I'm getting there. And I have less and less to lose. I'm telling some people that I just really miss being in prison, that my life is so miserable now. It's a lot happier in prison. And the gal I spent the night with, she's like, really? She goes, how do you figure? I'd rather not be in prison so I can do anything that I want. I'm like, do anything that you want? I said, all I want to do is just drive my car around. I can't do that. She's like, well, anything else? And I'm like, there's really only 4 things that I want to do. Drive around in a nice car, bang supermodels, not have to worry about eating, and not have to worry about rent. I said, right now, I can't do any of those things. And when I was in prison, I could do half of those things. By that math, it's twice as good being in prison as it is being out with my current existence. So, food for thought. I know I got a doctor's psychiatrist appointment and coming up fairly soon, and I got another what do you call it? Therapist appointment coming up kind of soon. Didn't really get to have my appointment with her last time, again, due to transportation issues. Not having my car. Tried so hard to get to that gig, so I didn't lose it. I ended up losing it anyway, in spite of the fact that I got there. I did everything I was supposed to do. They still shit on me and let me go. Left me high and dry. It's rough. The thing is, I've been in the mental health system for so long. I know that if I tell my doctor or my therapist just how suicidal I feel and just how worthless I feel about my life and just how I feel my life is just such a never-ending painful waste, like it's just so fucking miserable, and I don't see an end to the misery, and then I'm ready for an end to the misery. If I tell them that, they just lock me up in a hospital, and then things just get worse. So I can't even tell them how I really feel, because the help that I need, which is another car and some money and some opportunities that I can actually do, that's not what they're offering. That's not the help that's out there. The only help that's out there, if I let them know just how absolutely suicidal I am, the help that's out there is getting wrapped up and locked up in a mental institution and injected with a bunch of medication, drugs that I don't want, and be locked up while I lose what little bit of a life I have. Honest to God, I'd rather just fucking kill myself now than go through all of that misery. I'm already in enough misery. I really am. Ran into my old friend Joker at the Dunes. I told him just how so many times I'm waiting for the bus, I just feel like throwing myself in front of traffic, throwing myself in front of a train or a bus. It's like, man, I hate to hear you're hurting like that. There's a lot of people, you got friends, people who care about you. But as you can see, I'm surrounded by friends right now. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm going through some really tough times. It's like, I'd love to help you out. It's just like, well, what could I do that would help you? I said, right now I could just really use a decent pair of shoes because I got to walk everywhere and I'm doing it in sandals. And just a nice pair of shoes to walk in would make that nicer. He said he gave my business card with my phone number, and I told him I'm having problems getting people contacting me via phone, but he could email me, and I'm pretty good at keeping on my email. That's working pretty well for me. And he said he'd email me today, but he didn't. So add into the list of people that say they care to my face, but their actions just show that they just as soon me fling myself in front of a train. On that happy note, I'm at QT, so go inside and get some food. It's one of the few places that a person that doesn't have a motor vehicle can eat in this neighborhood. Oh yeah, more happy thoughts with Dan.